What's up, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. Game just about to get started. I'm just getting all my stuff together real quick. Give me a few minutes. But we will get things started here. The best thing to do if you want to sync up the score bug, it will be perfectly synced with my broadcast. So if you're trying to make sure I don't ruin any of the game for you, that's the way to do it. We got Xabi Alonso with his new squad. What did I just do with that? Perfect. There we go. All right. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome in, Jasil. We are live across a handful of different platforms right now, but we are going to get things started real soon. Chelsea with a bunch of new signings coming in this year. The big one, Morgan Rogers getting the start for Chelsea. Xabi Alonso on a 3-year deal, the new coach for the Blues. And then you also got Marc LaCroix coming in from Crystal Palace on a £52 million deal. The big money center back. But although, I don't know if you watched the World Cup and you saw him come in for William Saliba, LaCroix is probably not worth $52 million if you ask me. And then, of course, you got some big losses from Chelsea. The big one being Marc Cucurella going to Real Madrid for £47.5 million. Basically, probably one of the first choice left backs in the world. The World Cup champion for the Spanish squad. And then you also got some big names coming in too for Chelsea. Marco Palestra, he's actually not in the lineup today, oddly enough. Apparently he wasn't ready. Another weird one is Moises Caicedo, the former captain of the club, is not in the lineup today. Not really sure what's going on there, but can imagine we'll find out soon enough. Chelsea do have about 100 people on their fucking roster, it seems like, so I wouldn't be shocked if they're just trying to make space for them. But the starting lineups, the teams are on the field. We're going to get things kicked off here real shortly. You're feeling so kind on this Monday afternoon, hit that like button. Let me get on that. Hopefully I get on that for you. Actually, I don't really care, honestly. You don't got to hit nothing. I'm not going to be that guy. I hate when people are asking for likes and shit like that. So I'm not going to do that. But we got João Pedro and Morgan Rogers and Cole Palmer, the front three. Xabi Alonso talked about it in the offseason that he's going to go with a back three, and he does that today. Colwill, LaCroix, and Achampong on the back line with Robert Sanchez in the keeper position. Reece James going to be the skipper of the club today in the midfield. We got to see a bit of that, and we got to see a bit of that during the World Cup. And let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think of this past weekend? We had some great games. Man City skirted by just barely with a win. Liverpool drawing at St. James Park. Alexander Isak got the boo serenade. And we're getting things kicked off here. Let me make sure my score bug syncs up properly for you guys, so that way I can try and get that thing synced. We're on a bit of the delay. Thinking a 30-second delay is... Did João Pedro just score in 39 seconds? Am I crazy? No, okay. I think he did. I think João Pedro just scored 40 seconds into the game, and João Pedro has scored the first goal of the season for Chelsea and the first goal of his campaign. And I'm not going to lie, I'm playing against João Pedro in fantasy this week, and this is like the worst thing that could be happening to me. And what happened here? So long header into Palmer. Palmer feeds it into João Pedro, and he chips it over the keeper for the first goal of the day, and Chelsea are off and flying. And I already got the good guy I'm playing against in fantasy talking smack to me in my WhatsApp group. Love to see that. We love to see the banter. But oh my God, it couldn't ask for a better start to the Xabi Alonso era in Chelsea. 30 seconds in, and João Pedro slots it by the keeper, and they are already up 1-0. I'm telling you what, Fulham had a lot of big losses in this offseason. Didn't really bring anybody in. Harry Wilson, the big loss for them. I mean, Holy moly, guys. Raul Jimenez also leaving to Wolves, believe it or not. That was a little weird going down to the Championship League. You think with how good of a World Cup he had, I know it was before the World Cup he agreed to this, but you think with how good of a cup he had, he would try and stay in the Prem, but maybe that's neither here nor there. And then Tom Kearney, the club captain, departed, the end of an era. So you have a lot of people on the way out and nobody that great coming in my opinion. You had Gonzalo Garcia for 34 million pounds from Real Madrid. So basically their marquee buy. And, he's up front starting today. So we'll see what they can do. But wow, what a start for Xabi Alonso's team and for the Chelsea Blues and for the guy that's playing me in fantasy that has João Pedro on his team. Oh, here comes the shit talking. Jesus Christ. Okay, it's all right, guys. I'll show you where I'm at. It's not too bad. Let's see. It's pretty bad. 107 to 100. It's not looking good for me. João Pedro with a goal in the first, and Morgan Rogers taking the ball down here in a dangerous area, and he takes the shot and it's deflected out wide for the first corner of the game for Chelsea. So we have a great start to the game if you're a Blues fan, a rough start to the game if you're a Fulham fan. Chelsea winning the ball in the midfield quite a bit, it seems, and man, oh man, they're off into the races. So if you're a Blues fan, I talked about it earlier in the offseason. I actually think Chelsea will be the one side that's most competitive with Arsenal. And by the way, just to remind anybody new here, sync up your scorebug to your broadcast to my scorebug, and I will not ruin the game for you at all. And or I'll do my best not to ruin the game for you at all. So welcome on in, everybody. Let me know if there's anybody that has any thoughts on the Premier League this weekend. What did you guys think of that last minute winner by Man City? What did you guys, and that's a really bad foul by, I got to get the numbers down, Colwill for Chelsea. That should be a yellow card. And yeah, the ref dons the yellow card right away. That could easily have been something worse too, as a really rough tackle. And I think it looked like, was that Oscar Bob? No. Yeah, that was Oscar Bob was through there pretty well, it seemed like. And that's just a bad tackle for Colwill. You got to be careful there. High up the leg. You're dangerous area to say the least. But welcome on in, everybody. We had no plans. Yeah, that could have easily been a red card, but he gets away with it. Thankfully, Bob's leg kind of doesn't get caught there, but really easily could have been some bad news. So free kick taken and dealt with quite easily by Chelsea. Chelsea, like I said, often firing with an incredible start. João Pedro scoring within the first 40 seconds, and he has the ball right now moving up the left side of the pitch. Oscar Bob playing some great defense, forces the ball out of play for a Chelsea throw. And Chelsea, Xabi Alonso's boys are just off into the races. I do have a fantasy football draft and a slow draft right now that I got to deal with too, boys. So apologies if you lose my attention every once in a while. But my pick is next. So, sheesh. All right. So Chelsea with the throw. Moves the ball outside to Hato. Hato goes back to the back line and to Lavia. Lavia actually looks like he's kind of slotting back into that back line with LaCroix and Colwill. Reece James takes the ball in the middle of the pitch, and it's an interesting formation with Colwill actually moving forward when Chelsea has possession of the ball. So and that might be something to do with the fact that he just picked up a yellow. Obviously, a back three with a team like Fulham that will likely be playing on the counter. You're gonna have some of these fast break opportunities, and you want your back line to be able to just pull them down. So I think a quick shift in strategy there for Chelsea with the early yellow for Colwill, but we'll see how that plays out. Reece James with a switch of play over to, I gotta get these numbers right, Hato. Chelsea has so many players on the roster, man. It's going to take me a game or two to get used to the numbers and the players. people switching numbers. Obviously, Morgan Rogers, the big transfer coming in for 115 million pounds, and he, great start for the front three for Chelsea. So going with a 3-4-2-1 lineup, and Cole Palmer feeding the ball into Morgan Rogers, the man we just talked about, but it is a little too long and out of play for a goal kick. And it seems like Fulham's kind of settling into this game even after the first early goal for Chelsea. So, good start for Xabi Alonso's crew. João Pedro with the probably quickest goal of his career in any given season that he's ever played in. And yeah, if anybody is watching, the game is on USA Network. It's broadcast television. If you're in the US, it should be quite easy for you to get. And then Morgan Rogers in a dangerous area right now. Feeds the ball in the Cole Palmer up the right side. Morgan Rogers making a run. Cole Palmer doing the same thing with the ball. And the keeper, Leno, still Leno for Fulham, makes the save. Quite an easy one to say the least. But like I said, guys, I need to change my goal. I didn't realize that we passed that follower goal. I'll change that in a second. This game is pretty hot to start, to say the least. We got Calvin Bassey, the Nigerian, captaining the squad for Fulham, playing it out the back. Oscar Bob with the ball, and he moves it into this midfield. And then a great tackle by Reece James to win possession back. And Chelsea seemed pretty in control to start this game. Long ball over the top, and it's going to leak all the way through to Jared Leno. And he'll roll that back out to Bassey. So really, really strong start for the Chelsea squad. New players all across the board. Moises Caicedo not in the squad, weirdly enough. Neither is Palestra, the big signing that they had on there. One of their big signings. Obviously, the big signing is Morgan Rogers. But, Marco Palestra coming in, and LaCroix isn't a bad signing either. We've talked about it earlier. Obviously, if you watch the World Cup, William Saliba went out hurt in the France game, and LaCroix came in and he actually basically gave up the goal right away. You could tell the difference in quality there. So 52 million pounds spent on him. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but especially in a back three formation, I'm not. Ooh, here we go. Right away. Fulham having a little bit in a dangerous area. Puts the ball across the keeper, and Oscar Bob deals with it. Still danger in the final third. Nice little feed in too. It's gonna take me a while to get used to the Fulham players, guys. New numbers, new players. 24 for Fulham is. Who the fuck is 24 for Fulham? King. Oh my gosh. Come on. I don't know that. Joshua King. The one and only Joshua King. We got the first corner of the game for Fulham. And we'll see what we got here. Oscar Bob with an in-swinger. Good ball, but Robert Sanchez deals with it quite easily. And he's looking to play the ball quick. My dog, Charles, is doing what he can to try and get involved in the broadcast. You can probably hear him in the background. Sorry about that. Hopefully my gate's good enough to stop it, but you never really know. Oh, it is my turn to pick officially, guys. Give me 1 second. I gotta make this pick. We got Jalen Warren, Pitts, Ryan Thomas Jr., Laporta, Devontae Adams. I'm probably going to go Devontae Adams. That seems like the best pick at this current moment. Devontae. All right. Pick dealt with João Pedro running into the penalty area. And Calvin Bassey picks the ball off him, the Nigerian captain for Fulham, and a really hard tackle by number 45 for Chelsea. And Lavia is going to be on the card. And like we said earlier, Lavia seemed to be subbing in for Colwell on that back three. So not sure where Xabi Alonso is going to do here. Colwell was originally in the back three, picked up a yellow card early, and then a really tough tackle on Calvin Bassey from Lavia gets him the second yellow of the game. But Chelsea seemed to be flying, and I gotta say, the kits look nice. Did you any of you guys watch the Premier League this weekend? It was a hell of a weekend. We had Liverpool scoring in the 99th minute against Newcastle to draw. Dominic Soberslai slotted it in. Beautiful pen kick. You honestly, no keeper in the world saving that. I don't care if you could put two keepers in the box. They was not going to get stopped. Alexander Isak got serenaded with boos. Ooh, Morgan Rogers with a nice win of possession here in a dangerous area, but Fulham win it back quite easily. And then that is blocked out of play by Reece James for a goal kick. So, 12 minutes, 20 seconds into the match. 1-0 to Chelsea. Great start to Xabi Alonso's career. You know, the serial winning midfielder as a player, and obviously fresh off his Real Madrid spell. We got Mourinho. It's kind of funny. Mourinho goes, the Chelsea legendary coach Mourinho goes to Real Madrid, and then Xabi Alonso, the coach of Real Madrid, goes to Chelsea. That's just a bit of the incestuous nature of footy. But, you know, great to say the least. And Xabi Alonso, obviously great player, great midfielder, one of the best passers ever to play the game. Arbor Sanchez putting himself in a little bit of danger here, and it looked like he almost ran the ball out of play for a corner, and actually he does run the ball out of play, and the referee awards a corner. Somebody's texting me, and I hope it's not someone I did wrong. I will respond to that banter when I am no longer live. But Oscar Bob taking the corner again. They go short, and it looks like they're going to make them retake the corner. It was too quick. Not really sure. They're kind of annoying, especially if you're trying to run a quick, short corner strategy. Obviously, you're trying to catch the defensive off guard in some capacity. It looks like they're going to do an in-swinger here, and it's dealt with quite easily by Chelsea, and it goes out of play for a Fulham throw. So, like I said, big losses this season or the big loss for Chelsea this year is Marc Cucurella going to Real Madrid for £47.5 million. The first choice popular left back, the World Cup winning left back, and the guy with probably the most recognizable hair in the game right now goes to Real Madrid. He did get featured at the end of the game this past weekend when Real Madrid actually won in the 90th minute. Great game against Espanyol if you missed it. But Jude scoring early, and then Espanyol made it an interesting game by getting a goal back, and then Real Madrid scoring in the 90th minute to win it. And then in La Liga elsewhere, Barcelona looked off into the races. They were absolutely firing 5-0. And actually, funny enough, we did get a video of Lamine Yamal crying. What seemed to be crying, not necessarily like bawling crying, but it looked like he was very upset with his own performance. And, you know, color me shocked, a 19-year-old kid caring only about his own performance. I don't, he's got a lot of shade on the internet. This is the nature of the beast, right? Just the nature of the beast. So, who do you guys got winning the Premier League this year? Is Arsenal gonna repeat? I do think Chelsea, the team playing right now against Fulham, have the best chance at beating Arsenal simply because they're not going to be playing twice a week. They did not qualify for Europe last year. Now, obviously, that does mean, you know, a bottom 10 team. They will be playing in the EFL Cup this week. So they will be playing twice a week early in the season, but I don't think that really matters. It is a World Cup year, so not the freshest of legs coming off of summer, but I do think Chelsea, towards the end of the season, will not be participating in Champions League, and that's going to pay dividends. You saw that with United last year. Only playing once a week allows you to play a very aggressive, and honestly allows Xabi probably to play this back three where they can almost try and control possession and stop counters. So Fulham trying to play out the back here. Calvin Bessie goes back to Leno, and Leno goes into his midfield. But João Pedro making things interesting for Leno. Calvin Bessie with the ball back to his keeper, and Fulham just cannot get out the back, and so they're going to clear that to the midfield. Croy wins the header in the midfield, but looks like Garcia almost wins the ball in a dangerous area. Again, could be off in the fast break real quick, but Chelsea win the possession back. and feed the ball into Cole Palmer on the right wing. Cole Palmer had a bit of a rough season last year, a little bit of injuries, a little bit of lack of play time. Did not make it into the England squad. And, there's a lot of people online that were hating on that. I'm an England fan. I might not sound like it, but I am English at heart. So, I wasn't the worst. Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, and Trent Arnold-Alexander not making into the team wasn't the end of the world for me. 21 for Chelsea, making a nice run here. He loses possession, but Cole Palmer wins it back. But a great tackle by Robinson, the American, and he's off and running up the wing. He was asking for the ball, but they play it back to their back line. Definitely seemed to be trying to play out the back, so a little bit opposite of what I thought they would, which is sit back and defend and try and counter. And then a poor pass across the middle for Burge, and Reece James with the stealing the possession and then working the ball all the way back to their back line and switching play. We have got to get these numbers right. So, who we have on the right wing here? Is that Gusto? So Gusto plays the ball in the Cole Palmer. Palmer standing on the right wing, trying to get something in there for his boys in blue. Trying to really rewrite what was written last year about him. Obviously, a bit of a rough season for Chelsea, to say the least. Started out really strong and then had the surprise departure by Enzo Maresca. We ended up finding out a bit more later on why that was. I think it was basically confirmed that Pep was going to leave and Enzo was going to succeed him. And then Cole Palmer with a great tackle in a dangerous area. Morgan Rogers recovers the ball but tries to get it over back to Cole. And he does actually find Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer with a feint, and then the back line of Fulham does the job, gets the ball out of the dangerous area. But damage still not fully dealt with. Gusto on the right wing, he serves the ball in, trying to get over to Cole Palmer, back into the center of the pitch for Cole Palmer. He's in a dangerous area and he tries to cut it back and take the shot, but it is dealt with by the Fulham defense, and Garcia's out into the races. Again, this is what I was going to think most teams will play against Chelsea since Chelsea's going to try and control possession. So we got a nice little attacking bit of damage being done here by Fulham. A shot on target, and Robert Sanchez bats it away and out of play back for a corner. It's the second corner of the game, or third corner of the game, actually, for Fulham. So we'll see what Oscar Bob can do with this third one. They tried to go short on the second one, and they did not get much out of that. King with a great shot on target, had a lot of movement on it, could have gone anywhere, and a lot of pace behind that ball. So it looks like they're actually going to go with Iwobi here. It's going to be an out swinger, I believe. Iwobi being right-footed. Yes. Not the greatest look there, but he plays it in to King. King tries to feed it back to Palacios, and he goes over the top. Not the best strike on the ball. But Anthony Robinson almost hands the ball, actually, dealing with some danger on the other end. Let's see this again. Kind of shoulders it almost. Not the best look if you're Anthony Robinson, but gets away with it. So we got a good game to start. I'd imagine the Fulham faithful are kicking themselves for how bad of a first goal that was. They do seem to be playing a lot better. They are controlling possession 54% to 46%. So more or less split, but not the Chelsea dominating possession that we thought we would. So Chelsea not really playing on a press, interesting enough. So Calvin Bessie getting a chance to really survey the field, try and do what he can with it. Oscar Bob with a nice 1-2 with King, and King is running up the right wing. Both these players that he's going up against have a yellow card, have to be respectful of that. He serves it across the middle of the pitch, and then a whiff, basically, by LaCroix on that ball across the center of goal, and that could have been very dangerous for Chelsea. Damage still not dealt with, though. Oscar Bob feeds that back, and King just trying to ease things out, move the ball back to the back line, and Calvin Bassey, the Nigerian captain for Fulham, moves it back to his other center back, and they're going to try and switch play here. Looks like Iwobi's moving the ball in to Garcia. Garcia trying to feed in his left wing back there, but Anthony Robinson trying to make a run, but does not get fed the ball. And really Fulham looking pretty strong here after a really shaky start. So give up the easy goal, and then it's not the worst thing in the world to give up an early goal like that, because it kind of locks your team in. You're like, hey, we can't mess around anymore. So Fulham seemed to be locking in, and a lot of people probably would have picked them to potentially be going down this year, especially with what Ipswich and Coventry City have done spending wise. And then you saw Hull City. Oh my goodness. King with an incredible shot right past Robert Sanchez. This is why you don't have tall keepers. They can't get down quick enough. And oh my gosh, we are at 1-1 just like that, ladies and gentlemen. And Chelsea, from dream start to nightmare, they seemingly have not been able to keep the ball since they got that first goal. And now Fulham consistently pressing, trying to do what they can to get through, and King with a nice run and slots it right by Robert Sanchez. What an incredible job by Fulham to get themselves right back in this game. Yeah, King with an incredible 1-2 run over Castellan with a great feed in, reads the run perfectly, and King takes one touch and rips it right by Robert Sanchez. This is exactly how you want to answer a horrible start for Fulham, and we are all tied up 1-1, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. I mean, I got to check my fantasy team. That does help me for my fantasy team. I don't know. Oh, because Colwell, I didn't realize he had Colwell on his team. So a yellow for Colwell, and then a goal given up. And I'm in a better spot in my fantasy than I was earlier. Nobody cares about that. They'll stop talking about it. The ball gets played back to Robert Sanchez, and now things are getting a little nervy for the boys in blue. Fulham are flying all over the pitch. You love to see that if you're a Fulham fan. So Iwobi wins the ball in the midfield, plays it over to Anthony Robinson, and he goes back to his back line. What is up, everybody? Welcome on in. The game is on USA. The score bug is synced to my broadcast. I will do everything I can not to ruin the game for anybody in here, but welcome on in, everyone. So we got a great game on our hands. We have a great week of sports on our hands. We will be live for a handful of footy games. We will be live for the Bi-Weekly Chronicles tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. We will also have a few Cubs games. So Wednesday and Friday we'll be broadcasting the day games for the Cubs. And then Sunday night baseball will be Cubbies as well. I think we also are going to watch Newcastle and Tottenham on Saturday. And so we got a good little start to the game, you guys. And Cole Palmer takes the ball in a dangerous area, but he is offsides. And whew, what a start. What a 25 minutes. And this is basically how all of the games have kind of gone. A ton of parity across the leagues. And King, they're showing the replay here. Go hop on Twitter and check that out. The man looks really, really strong. So, if anybody watched last season, King's got a good name for himself there, and he's been doing pretty well. I like what Kevin was doing as well. And so let's see if they can keep this momentum moving in the right direction for Fulham. They're showing Palestra in the stands. He is obviously being brought in to support that back line. He'll probably play in place of, I would imagine, Colwell, but we'll see what it turns out to being. But they spent the money on him, so you got to imagine that they're going to go with him. Fulham lose Harry Wilson in the offseason. King again in the penalty area with a dangerous position. And oh my goodness, Fulham almost do it again. And I will say man was offsides there, but he didn't play the ball, so they're not going to call it on him. I don't know how. I guess you can kind of run away from playing it. So the little Lionel Messi strategy, be offsides and run away from the ball. Oscar Bob taking the ball into a dangerous area, and oh my gosh, Garcia, the new signing for Gonzalo Garcia, the new signing from Real Madrid for Fulham, takes a shot, but it is blocked by Achapang. And man, Fulham really just, since the giving up the early goal to João Pedro, they have really turned it on, ladies and gentlemen. So good to see if you're a Fulham fan. And hey, let's get things started. Let's get things started. So 1-1, 27 minutes in. If you're new in here on any of the broadcasts, sync up your score bug on the TV on your broadcast with my score bug on the screen. I will do what I can to try and not ruin the game for you guys. And this is getting interesting for Fulham. Gusto with a pretty lazy foul, it seems, in the middle of the pitch. But yeah, I mean, Fulham, you'd think this game was going to be easy work for Chelsea, and they just look a bit lost out there. Sometimes this does happen with new management, new strategy, new scheme. Obviously, playing a back three is challenging in its own way. And King making another great run into the penalty area, moves the ball across, and then LaCroix puts it out behind for another corner for Fulham. But we are in a really, really good spot if you are a Fulham fan, or if you're a supporter of any other top six club like Arsenal. You know, obviously Arsenal dominated over the weekend with a 3-0 win, or on Friday, rather, not over the weekend. You know, you had the other top six clubs not performing up to par, and so I will say watching Fulham here gets you a bit excited for if you're an Arsenal fan. Fulham goes short with the corner, and then Cole Palmer wins the ball back and is fouled in the process by King, and that hopefully should calm things down a little bit for Chelsea. Let's see if they can maintain a bit of possession and do what they can to try and bring things back to normal, with Fulham really pushing the ball here and really doing great from a momentum standpoint. If you're gonna be one of those people that are on FOTMob and measuring momentum, they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty strong. So ball gets played all the way basically through to the back line from Robert Sanchez to Leno. Leno receives the ball and moves it over to his center backs. And Fulham are going to play out the back here. It's been working for them since they tried to control possession, and you might as well. If Chelsea aren't going to play on a press, control possession, utilize the crowd in your favor. Try and do what you can to maintain this momentum. So Iwobi moving forward and wins the ball in the midfield, but loses it right away. Cole Palmer running up the right wing, trying to change the momentum here, and João Pedro with, oh my gosh, what seemed to be another goal, and he just goes wide right. Oh shit, I don't have my other chat on. My bad, guys. I need to have that up. Where'd it go? Where's my other chat? Where's it at, boys? Where's my chat? OBS. I've lost my chat. Chat. Sorry guys. I'm sorry for everybody on the other streams. I don't know why my chat's not loading. Please just hop on TikTok if you want to chat. I can't do this live. Robert Sanchez punches the ball out. Another dangerous ball. Anthony Robinson this time. And Iwobi just seems to be dominating the midfield for Fulham. Anthony Robinson tries to feed the ball into his left wing, and it gets dealt with quite easily. Welcome on in, guys. Welcome on in. Let me change a couple of these things. Remove that. adjusting a few things on my end, guys. Sorry. There we go. All right, guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. Again, we got a great game here this afternoon. Chelsea Fulham 1-1. Chelsea with a dream start, scoring within the first 40 seconds of the match. And then Fulham, since then, have very much so locked in and seem to be doing incredibly well, to say the least. I'm trying to find where my chat went. Sorry. I have to figure this out later. Yeah, my chat disappeared for some reason. I'm gonna have to get that. So 2 shots on goal for both teams. Really great game. Really great start to the season. Who do you guys got winning the Prem? I'm thinking Arsenal are gonna repeat. It seems, I mean, if they get Julian Alvarez, it's over. What a great tackle by, was it Lavia, to win the ball in a dangerous spot. Morgan Rogers making a nice little move in, and then a great shot by Gusto, but dealt with by Leno, caught perfectly and falling on top of the ball, and he's going to slow things down a little bit here. So oddly enough, Chelsea seem to be the ones that are playing on the break. Morgan Rogers with a nice shot on target here, blocked by the center back for Fulham. Kuinka. I gotta figure out the pronunciation of that man's name. Morgan Rogers switch a play here out to Gusto. Gusto has got a bit of space to run into, and he moves it over to Palmer. Palmer back to his back line and into the ball into Reece James. Welcome on in, guys. Who you guys got winning the Prem this year? Let me know in the chat. I think Arsenal take this, but this is who I thought would be our biggest challenger in Chelsea. They don't play in Europe this year, so they're gonna have the benefit of rest during the Prem season, especially towards the end. And teams like Arsenal, City, United, they want to make a deep run into the Champions League. So with that, you're gonna get a little bit of fatigue with the teams. I do think Arsenal have the deepest team in the league right now. Chelsea probably have the most players in the league, but Arsenal have the deepest team. And if they bring in someone like Julian Alvarez, there was talks about Barcola, but I actually think Christos Zolas is going to be an incredible addition to the team. And we've seen it in the preseason, and you've seen it in the first game of the season. Tons of contributions across the board. Man, oh man. What a game. What a game. And then a little shove on the ball there on King. But great start to King. And Morgan Rogers is going to take a short corner. They play it into Reece James. Reece James goes long. And then what a save by Leno. Oh my goodness. Lavia had a great shot. Basically open goal to try and net the second goal of the game for Chelsea and put them back in the lead, and he just puts it straight into Leno's chest. Not what you want to do if you're that close. I do think is he right-footed? It's a weird shot if you're right-footed. So he's got to be right-footed based on that. So another corner for Chelsea. Leno punches the ball out, and it looks like 27, is that? Yeah, it's Gusto playing the ball out to Palmer. Palmer just falls on the ball, and not sure what he's saying here with the ref. He's very angry at the ref. Yeah, I mean, I see why Palmer's angry. He's getting his chest, the front of his jersey pulled back behind him. You know, especially with the amount of space he had and the Palmer's ability to cross the ball into the box so well, you could see why he's lobbying for a yellow there. I don't buy it, though. I don't think a yellow makes sense, but I don't know. What do you guys, if anybody's watching the game, let me know your thoughts. I don't think a yellow should have been given there, and I think the ref had it right. We have Reece James lining up for a free kick. And we'll see what the strategy is here. He is gonna go far post and is dealt with by Fulham, but not fully dealt with as the ball moves out to Lavia. Lavia goes right back to Gusto to Reece James, and here gonna go all the way back to Robert Sanchez. So a little bit of worry there for Fulham, seemingly dealt with, and then Morgan Rogers tries to play it into their midfield, and the ball is lost in possession, and Fulham go right back to what they were doing before. Thinking Calvin Bessie probably switches play here. Yeah, Anthony Robinson calling for the ball in a bit of space. Gonna let his center back run into it a little bit and then move the ball over to King. Does not win the aerial, doesn't even attempt on the aerial, but plays the ball off Morgan Rogers, and it's out for a Fulham throw. So, good start to the game for Chelsea. Fulham kind of figuring themselves out, settling into their position, settling into the game, and then countering, and actually not countering, controlling position and countering with their own goal. So we got a 1-1 game, 37 minutes into the game, and really what was seemingly supposed to be a pretty easy game for Chelsea, or what a lot of people thought would be an easy game for Chelsea. Some people even had Fulham picked as a potential team to go back down. If there weren't going to be yo-yo situations with the teams that came up, Fulham is a popular pick for to go down, just simply because Raul Jimenez, their striker, they lost. Obviously, they bring in Gonzalo Garcia. I'm a little dyslexic, guys, so my bad on that. From Real Madrid. But losing Harry Wilson scored a ton of very clutch goals for them last season. But hey, if you're a Fulham fan and you make all those losses, this is what you want to see on a team that's supposed to be competing for the title, and you're playing them out of their park, out of your own park. So good to see. Anthony Robinson on the left wing, the American, he feeds the ball into number 8. Number 8 gets tackled and the ball won back by Fulham. Oscar Bob looking to switch it over to Anthony Robinson. Robinson tries to play it over off his head, and Robert Sanchez deals with it quite easily. Anyways, what a start to the game. What a start to the Premier League season. Any of you guys surprised by any of the results this past weekend? Obviously, Newcastle looked really strong. King fouls João Pedro in the midfield there. Kind of a tackle from behind. João Pedro stopped with the ball in possession and just kind of picked up the free kick. And, nothing doing there. Nothing too malicious. Just King playing hard and João Pedro stopping to try and make a pass. And King runs through him. See that foul about 100 times a game. So nothing too bad there for King. And the ref rightfully does not award a card to King. I don't think he would have deserved it there, even though João Pedro was lobbying it for it a little bit. So again, Chelsea playing out the back with this back three. It will be an interesting experiment for them. What a great ball into Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer finds, oh my gosh, wide open goal. And Morgan Rogers is going to get his first goal of his Chelsea career, 2-1. And that couldn't have been a more open goal. And please don't tell me João Pedro got the assist there as well, because that would be bad news for me and my fantasy team. Nobody cares about my fantasy team. I know. Oh, somebody mentioned me. Yeah, no shit. I should have played Rogers. I know. I have Morgan Rogers, but listen, I didn't know if it was going to be like a whole Palestra situation where it's like, Palestra's not even in the lineup today. So obviously I should have played Morgan Rogers. Would have been nice. But let's see. Did João Pedro get an assist there? Did he get a touch on that? I can't really tell. Doesn't look like he does. LaCroix with the assist, and what a run by their center back into the middle of the pitch, and then feeds it over to Morgan Rogers, and Morgan Rogers had an absolute gimme of a goal. Wide open net. There's no way he misses that. You could give him that chance 100 times and he's going to slot it 100 times. So just as we were saying, Fulham basically playing exactly how you want to play, going down 1-0 early, and then there you go. A quick little break, LaCroix makes a run, and then it's quickly 2-1 just like that. And Gusto running into a bit of space here, tries to feed the ball back into Morgan Rogers, but it's dealt with. Anthony Robinson receives the ball, and then King seemingly all over the pitch. Bit of a license to free roam here. So good looking start for Chelsea with the early goal. Fulham then bring back possession and chip away until they get their goal with King. And then pretty much against the run of play, Chelsea do a great, or LaCroix has a great run into the box with the ball and then feeds it over to their new £115 million signing for the second goal of the game for Chelsea. And they're off and flying. So just like we thought this would be a Chelsea win going into it. They're heavily thought to win early on. And so, especially with the losses that Fulham have, I know you bring in Gonzalo Garcia from Real Madrid, but it's not losing Harry Wilson, losing Raul Jimenez. That's a big one. It's a pretty big one. So all over the top, trying to feed Gusto, who has moved into a forward position. You're now having basically a front four, almost front five for Chelsea. Palmer on the right wing, giving him a little space to look up and make a pass, but they close out the space easily. And then Gonzalo Garcia with a great win of possession. Or sorry, that was not Garcia. That was Palacios. So Chelsea looking really strong here, trying to control possession. LaCroix goes out to the right side, and they're going to try and feed the ball over the top to Gusto. Gusto running onto it. Tries to win possession, but loses it quite quickly. And then Cole Palmer wins it back right away. He's going to have a shot on target here, and it just goes out wide. He had the keeper beat had that been on target. Welcome in, guys. Like I said, sync up your score on your TV, your broadcast to my score bug on the screen. Every once in a while it'll pop, the API will mess up and I'll get a little head, but we're basically within 20 seconds of that almost always. So that is the way to do it if you want to participate and not have me ruin any games for you. All right, what a good start. And we're going to be moving into halftime here shortly. Morgan Rogers trying to win the ball here, but Fulham play it back to Leno quite easily. And then they're on their own little break here. Castellanos plays it back to his center backs. And Fulham trying to control a little bit of possession. If anybody's curious, the game in America is on USA. I believe it's on Sky Sports in the UK and most of Europe if you are interested in watching the broadcast with us. This is a broadcast watch party, so we are just watching the game, announcing it ourselves, and talking a little banter with anybody that's willing to talk a little smack. I'm hoping that we get some Chelsea fans in here talking a little crap about Arsenal. I do think Arsenal dominate this year and repeat quite easily, especially with the transitional phase that we have in the EPL right now. But you never really know. You never really know. Who do you guys got? Let me pull up my other chat. There we go. There we go. All right. 2-1 to Chelsea. We got 2 minutes of extra time here. Shouldn't be too much time left in the first half. Chelsea with a dream start to the Xabi Alonso era with a 40-second slotted goal. Then it got a little shaky there for a bit. Couple yellows for Chelsea. Lavia and Colwill both picking up yellows, which is a little suspect for them simply because Palestra not in the squad today, and Palestra is obviously who you'd want to be starting there. So you're playing a back three. You want to make sure you can have your guys with no cards there to be able to bring them down pretty easily on fast breaks. It's just kind of a tactical foul. So Colwell picks up the early yellow. Labia moves in his place and then also picks up a yellow. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any changes by Xabi Alonso in the half, given those 2 yellow cards. And then obviously, like I said, you'll probably have Palestra starting there or starting in place in Enchampong. Interesting to see what they do there. But great start to the Premier League season. What was your guys' favorite game this past weekend? Anybody have thoughts on the way that Newcastle United looked against Liverpool? I do think it was a soft penalty, but it's a penalty almost every time you do that in the game, and then Dominic Szoboszlai slotting it easily, and that is half time. So Chelsea with a little bit of worry there, a bit of momentum going Fulham's way, and then LaCroix with an incredible run and pass back across goal, and Morgan Rogers slots it in. So great start to the game for Chelsea. Nice little figure him out moment for Fulham, and then Chelsea do the damage with their front 3. So João Pedro, Morgan Rogers, and Cole Palmer, probably one of the deadliest front 3 in the Prem right now. And you got to imagine, if you're a Chelsea fan, you're a bit excited at what you see there and maybe a little worried about what you see on the back line. But, LaCroix being your lead center back, he's a quick guy. But like I said, if you watched the World Cup and you watched William Saliba come off with an injury and LaCroix come in, he basically gave up a goal within the next 10 minutes. And it was a really tough look for LaCroix. But, no worry on Chelsea's part. They go and spend £52 million and they bring him in to be their lead center back. And they obviously have Palestra coming in as well. So this isn't the final version that you'll see of Chelsea. And obviously Moises Caicedo not in the game, or not in the featured lineup for Chelsea today. He was a skipper for Chelsea last season. So, led up their side pretty well. And then you got Andre Santos going to Man United for $48 million. They cash in on the young midfielder. And Chelsea remain pretty elite at the selling department. They also buy everything. So is that Charles and my girl, or is it just Charles? I am live, by the way. You're good. I'm live. I'm just doing the Chelsea game. Yeah. Yep. So we're having a little fun here. Not as many Chelsea fans as there are Arsenal fans. That was let's see what we got here. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. We are at halftime in the Chelsea Fulham game. The game is on USA Network. Couple headlines coming into it. Obviously, Xabi Alonso, 3-year deal, leaving Real Madrid in place of Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid. He said he's building the new soul of this team, possession-based, sophisticated, flexible, and he's talked about this back 3 that he'll use, and we're seeing that. Where are they right now? They're rebuilding again after a chaotic 10th place finish under 3 different managers last season. The big one being Enzo Maresca, that had the boys in a really good position, top 3, what seemed like competing for a title. And then he has a shock departure during the winter window, and basically it was all but confirmed that what are you doing over there? Oh, okay. I was just worried. I just want to make sure you're getting nothing else. Nothing else. Yeah, they are. Don't be looking over there. I'm live. I can't go play defense. All right, love you. I'm gonna try and turn that off for now. See what we can do. We play around with this. What a great goal by King. If you're just joining us, welcome in. We are at halftime for the Chelsea game. Check, check, check. No sound detected at all? That's what I thought. Thank you, TikTok. Just because I got a nice little gate on my thing doesn't mean that there's no sound at all. Does seem like we are looking. What's up? Welcome on in, guys. We got a good game on our hands today. Let me grab a quick. What's up, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. If you're looking for the broadcast, it is actually going to be on USA Network in the US. I gotta figure out mine. We are at halftime. Let me see. What's up, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. All right, we are at halftime. Chelsea with 13 shots, 5 on target, 4 fouls for each team, but possession being dominated by Fulham. So a little against what Xabi Alonso was trying to suggest in his press conferences. Interesting thoughts here. Do you guys think Xabi Alonso is the right hire for Chelsea, or is it another big name he'll just get chewed up and spit out by the big blue chaos? I personally think he's a great hire. Obviously, he was an incredible midfielder, one of the best passers to ever play the game. But where do you guys stand on that? So far, so good, or just still cautiously optimistic? Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, I'm a fan of Xabi Alonso. And obviously, the interesting thing, both of these two Spanish managers are ex-Real Madrid, and they were actually former teammates. One literally replaced the other at Bernabeu about a few months ago. So the whole match is a bit of a Real Madrid soap opera, especially when you throw in, when you throw in the fact that Gonzalo Garcia, was at Real Madrid last year, and then Cucurella heading over to Real Madrid this year. So a little bit of Real Madrid kind of tapped in everywhere you look in this game. And then Morgan Rogers, the big transfer, 117 million British transfer record for the midfielder. I thought it was a bit of an overpay. Obviously, the other big ones are Jack Grealish and Declan Rice. And then, of course, Elliot Anderson, who this past weekend, if you ask me, didn't really look the part of a 115 million pound signing. What did you guys think of Elliot Anderson this weekend if you watched? Let me know your thoughts. And are Chelsea title contenders now? Like, is that where we're at? Do we think that Chelsea can actually contend for a title? Really wish that my doc would load for my other chat. We got a handful of viewers in there, and I can't see their chat. Oh, I know what I can do. I got an idea. 1 second. Let me go pull this up. Just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Since for some reason OBS does not want to load my chat for me. Ready to go live. I'm already live. My stream. Click into that. Boom. Oh my god, I got it. Give me my chat. Beautiful. Good old-fashioned style. Make sure I mute myself so I don't drive myself a little crazy. Good to go on that. Pop out chat. Boom. All right. YT, you're back. You're back, boys. You are back. And we'll do the same thing for the purple app. We will do the same thing for the purple app. Creator dashboard. Stream manager. There we go. There we go. Good to go. We got all our chats looking groovy. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, welcome in, guys. We are at halftime in this game, and it is a great one. It's fitting the bill of the rest of the Prem this season. Do you guys think as Xabi Alonso is happy with this start? Obviously, he talked about controlling possession. He talked about playing this back three. He's definitely playing the back three, but they're not really controlling possession in the way they want to. But no harm, no foul, given that they are up 2-1 at the break. But let me know what your thoughts are. Are you happy as a Chelsea fan? Are you cautiously optimistic? Or is this just another manager that's going to start hot and fizzle out around Christmas and then get sacked in the morning of Christmas morning? I'm a fan of him, though. I'm a fan. And then I really think the big thing for honestly Fulham is they lose Harry Wilson to Leeds. He had a pretty decent game this past weekend, but they lose him on a free transfer. Nothing worse than losing somebody for the free. And then Raul Jimenez, the Mexico hero during the World Cup, scored all those great goals for Mexico. Seemingly decides to leave for Wolves, even though they were relegated. So he's playing in the championship this offseason. And, you know, if you ask me, I think that he's more of a Prem player than he is a championship player. So, you know, not really what you'd expect out of somebody of that quality. But, hey, what can I say? What can I say? So let me know what you guys think. And who do you guys think is winning the Prem? Is Arsenal going back to back? I think it might be pretty easy for them to go back to back if you ask me. They obviously they bring in Bruno Guimaraes for £75 million. But the big one for me is Christos Zolas. I know obviously big one right now, given that Julian Alvarez has been rumored to be in the news of potentially actually joining the North London boys in red. I don't personally think Julian Alvarez is a great addition to the team, not because he's not a good player. I think Julian Alvarez is an incredible player. I just think he has a really, really poor attitude. And obviously, when you bring in a player, you want them to play for your team. And for those that don't know, Julian Alvarez does not want to play for Arsenal. Well, he doesn't want to play in the UK at all. He wants to play for Barcelona, and a lot of reasons around that. The main one being apparently his family has issues with visas and visiting him and staying with him. So, you know, if you're a family man first, you kind of get where he's coming from on that. But if you ask me, it's a little bit of a slap in the face to Atleti, right? Oh my gosh, I've had my chat way too long. No one. Oh my gosh, I've probably been missing things. My bad, guys. Oh, my other chat's right there. My bad, guys. My bad. This is just, I've been a mess here. I've been a mess. But yeah, I think when you talk about, this is pretty messed up because Julian Alvarez, he pushes to leave Man City to get into La Liga. Atletico Madrid go all in and make the move to bring him in, and then 2 years later he is getting booed off the pitch, jeered off the pitch, whatever you want to call it. Atleti fans are hating on him, and so he left the pitch early, which It was reported that he was told to leave the pitch early, but it's just a horrible look. So what do you guys think of the whole Julian Alvarez saga? Is he going to end up in North London? Does Athletic decide to keep him around? I don't want him in North London, if I'm being honest. I really don't. There's so many players on this team, on the Arsenal team, that just love. What's up, Caterpie? Good to see you, my man. Hope you're doing well. There's so many people on the Arsenal team that love to play there and want to be there, right? Victor Gyökeres took a pay cut. I think he even paid his agent fees or something like that to come play for Arsenal. And then you're thinking of replacing him with a guy like, don't get me wrong, Julian Alvarez is an incredible big game player, scored in a World Cup final, scored in a Champions League final too. Caterpie still has Tottenham winning the Prem. I mean, listen, they got to figure some things out. I'll say that much. But Savinho coming in for Caterpie and Marmoush coming in for Tottenham. I think that's going to replace. Marmoush should start ahead of Richarlison, I would hope. Marmoush starts ahead of Richarlison. What do you think, Caterpie? Do you think Marmoush starts? And then Savinho on the right wing. Obviously, Mikey Moore, not really a great player in my opinion. So really shifting the front three. And there's also rumors that if Barcola goes to Liverpool, that Cody Gakpo will go to Tottenham. So you could very well have a completely different front line at Tottenham by the end of the week. Or by the end of this transfer window. But Savinho, the young Brazilian, comes in. Marmoush, the Egyptian star. Maybe not star, but the Egyptian coming in, probably going to start ahead of Solanke and Richarlison. And I think you're going to see a much more organized attack this next week. And obviously Tottenham playing, on Wednesday, I think, against Charlton. So they'll have a bit of a get-right game. I don't think they'll be able to work more Marmoush in just yet. Savinho, maybe, kind of bring him on in the 60th minute type situation. But as a Tottenham fan, you got to be a little worried with what you saw, but a little optimistic with, obviously, Marmoush and Savinho coming in. Two really great signings. And if you had Gakpo over on top of that, it could very well turn out to be a very strong front line for them. Not to mention, obviously, Sandro Tonali coming in is a big one too. So I appreciate the love, Caterpie. I really do appreciate it. So we're getting the second half kicked off here. If you're watching the broadcast, it's on USA Network for my friends in the US. It's on Sky Sports for my friends in the UK. And then a quick feed in by Morgan Rogers to João Pedro. João Pedro takes the shot, but it is blocked. So good little spell of possession here for Chelsea. Although João Pedro, shoulder to shoulder, bumps the right back for Fulham and wins the free kick. The right back for Fulham wins the free kick, that is. So good little start to the half for Chelsea. It's what you want to see. They're supposed to be trying to control possession, according to their coach, Xabi Alonso. Going 60-40 against Fulham, away at Fulham isn't the worst, especially when you end the half up 2-1, but very much so scoring that second goal against the run of play. But, you love to see what they're putting on the field right now if you're a Chelsea Blue fan. A re-envisioned front three for Chelsea with Morgan Rogers being that key signing. They also bring in Palestra. So he has actually not in the team today. So that will be interesting. I don't know if he's fully fit or what the issue is there. But Maxime Lacroix, the Frenchman, going to be their lead center back. Also another big transfer for them for £52 million. But Cole Palmer making a nice little run in here, and he takes the shot, and it just goes out wide. He's trying to complain for a corner. It looked like there was a bit of deflection there to win him that corner, but Cole Palmer showing himself that he's got fresh legs. Obviously didn't play for England in the World Cup, and yeah, that is deflected off and out of play, but the corner not awarded to the Chelsea Blues, so not really Got to be a little upset about that one if you are a Chelsea fan, but that's kind of the nature of the beast, isn't it? That's what happens in these situations. So these refs aren't perfect, everybody. But good start to the game. Good start to the Prem this season. And we're off and running. We are off and running. João Pedro making a nice run here by himself. Cole Palmer trying to come in relief. João Pedro probably going to take this on himself. He leads it on the Palmer. Palmer with an open shot, and he slots it right through on Leno. And that's going to be an assist for João Pedro. And the boys in blue are off and running. And that is 3-1 Chelsea. Man, it looked, if you're watching this first half, this is very much against the run of play, guys. You'd really think that Fulham had a good shot here, and then Chelsea 3-1, and they look as strong as they started. And we got two ice cold moments. Morgan Rogers, Cole Palmer, the best friends. It looks like João Pedro's played on side by Kensa. I don't know if I got his name right. And then a great ball played by João Pedro to Cole Palmer, and then Palmer does what he does, doesn't even take a touch, left-footed right through the wickets of Leno. You got to do better if you're a keeper there, but you got to do better if you're Fulham's back line too. That was just too easy in possession, and things are not looking good for me and my fantasy team. Sheesh. Oh, man. What am I doing? What am I doing? Why did I not? I didn't play Morgan Rogers because I was worried that the game was on Monday. I mean, I played Kluivert ahead of him, and Kluivert had 9 points, but I mean, Morgan Rogers has 22 points right now. So, not looking good for me. I'm probably going to get my first loss of the season, even after putting up 107 points. And then Chelsea are flying here. They got another shot. Oh my gosh. Ball put into a dangerous area and dealt with by the Fulham defense. And this could get ugly real fast, boys. This could get ugly real fast for the Fulham boys with the way that they're playing. Anthony Robson calling for the ball, does not get it. He eventually gets the ball and has a little bit of space to work with here. So that is really the only hope here for Fulham fans. Man, Craven Cottage was rocking to start this game after they tied it up from the King goal. Robinson with the ball on the left wing, but loses it on the pass, on a poor pass in to Iwobi. Palmer playing the ball out the back himself. Tries to play it out wide, and the ball gets lost in possession. And the ref calls a free kick, what seemed like a really great tackle by the Fulham player. Gusto kind of making a meal out of it, acting like he's a lot more hurt than he is, in my opinion. And yeah, that is just a horrible call by the ref. Fulham player wins that easily. He's actually trying to spin away from him. What's up, Kuma? Good to see you, my man. You ever figure out what you're doing? You go to Europe? What are you doing? I saw you were live earlier. Hope you're doing well, my man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you figured out where you're going on vacation. But wow, what a horrible call by the ref, because the ball was in a bit of a dangerous area there for the Fulham squad, and they could have easily turned that into something. But free kick awarded the other way to Chelsea, and I can imagine this is where you're going to try and see. You're going to see a bit of what Xabi Alonso has been talking about, controlling possession, but of course they actually put the ball out forward to João Pedro. He loses the ball, taking a road trip to Blue Ridge with the dog and with the wife and dog tomorrow. Where is Blue Ridge? Is that Florida? I have no clue where Blue Ridge is. Blue Ridge Mountains in the eastern United. Georgia. That's cool. That seems like a fun thing. You gonna stream any of it? Do a little IRL streaming, or just a little break from the streaming life? staying at a couple of cabins. That's cool, man. That's cool. I hope you guys have fun. Hope you have a good time. You should if you can, man. That, all you need is your. Well, I don't know how good the service is gonna be up in those mountains, but all you need is an iPhone. All you need is an iPhone. Go on some hikes. Sounds nice, man. Might be a little warm, but I think that sounds pretty nice. There's nothing like getting out in nature. This is what I always say. Fulham trying to play the ball over the top, and what makes a mess of it, and it's gonna be another. Oh, that's a Fulham goal! Wow, Fulham are right back in this thing. Their new summer I can't talk. Their new summer signing, Gonzalo Garcia, in the right place at the right time. The Chelsea defense makes an absolute mess of a ball over the top. What are they doing? And then Robert Sanchez doing what Robert Sanchez does, playing horrible goalkeeper. Oh my gosh, what an awful response. I mean, what a great response by Fulham, and what an awful control of possession by the Chelsea Blues. Oof. That is a rough look, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a fan of Chelsea, especially after going 3-1 up, you would hope that you are in a great spot to win. And now the most dangerous lead in all of sports, a 2-goal lead, might be coming into play. Craven Cottage is rocking. The Fulham fan base are right back behind their boys, and we got ourselves a ball game. If anybody's trying to watch the broadcast, it is on USA Network. That is how you'll get it. YouTube TV, Fubo, Direct TV, whatever it is. And then Gonzalo Garcia with the ball again, puts it out wide to Anthony Robinson, and Fulham are threatening again. A nice ball in by Anthony Robinson, but it's a little long for Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob chases it down and keeps it in play. Oscar Bob with a great move around the Chelsea defense, trying to do it all himself. Needs to pass the ball, he does, and he gets it back out to their right wing. Right wing moves it over to the far post, but Robert Sanchez goes up and gets it, and we have ourselves a ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Fulham, just like that, they're back in belief mode and thinking that they can win this game. You love to see that. So we are in the thick of it, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea with a 3-1 lead, give up an easy possession in the dangerous area, and then a horrible save by Robert Sanchez goes right back to Gonzalo Garcia, and he heads it into the floor to put the game to 3-2. And look, Fulham, we felt like they were they were down 3-1 against the run of play. They'd done a great job controlling possession. And now look at this. They're right back in it, ladies and gentlemen. So Oscar Bob with possession on the right wing tries to feed it in. And they go right back to Calvin Bassey, their star center back, Nigerian captain. King has the ball in a dangerous area, and it gets put out of play behind the goal for what would be Fulham's, I think, fourth or fifth, maybe fifth or sixth corner of the day. So we have Oscar Bob. This is going to be an in-swinger, left footer. So this should be a good opportunity. Robert Sanchez, the one thing about being a tall keeper, these in-swingers, you can go up and get them quite easily. Let's see what Oscar Bob can do with it. He's going to go far post. Oof. And like I said, Robert Sanchez using his height to his advantage and getting way up there and grabbing the ball, doing what you need to do as a tall keeper. And then he throws the ball out into a great spot for Cole Palmer, gives him a chance to run onto it. But the center back, Kunsa for Fulham, puts it out of play for a Chelsea throw. And this game, where it felt like it could get away from Fulham really easily, and then out of nowhere, Fulham score, and now they're on the front foot, and Chelsea seem to be reeling. This is kind of the nature of playing a back three, though. Chelsea should score a bunch, but they're also going to give up a bunch of goals too. So if you're a Chelsea fan, you're in for a fun, like, topsy-turvy season, to say the least. So we'll see what they can do with the rest of this game. And again, Fulham winning the ball back. King trying to do a switch of play, a bit aggressive there, and then Chelsea win the ball and go all the way back to Robert Sanchez. But Fulham very much so on the front foot. This is what you want to see if you're in the Craven Cottage, if you are a Fulham faithful. So, great start to the game. Great game overall. And you just love to see a match like this. Who you guys got winning the league? You guys got Chelsea. Is Chelsea? If you're a Chelsea fan in here, talk to me. Or are you happy with the Blues? Should Enzo Fernandez come on here? You guys do seem to be kind of getting dominated in the midfield. The kind of scrappy Argentinian player could be the perfect thing you need right now. But it's also been rumored that he might be on his way to Man City. So are you guys happy with your performance, Chelsea fans? Where are you guys at with all this? Talk to me. So Gonzalo ball goes out long to Garcia Gonzalo. God, that's gonna mess me up. Gonzalo Garcia. He puts Gonzalo on his back of his jersey though, and Garcia Gonzalo is just like two last names. Like can't ever trust a guy with two last names. That's all I gotta say. But Gonzalo Garcia wins a free kick, and so Fulham moving the ball into the final third. Ball goes out wide to Anthony Robinson, the American. He pushed it back into Iwobi. Iwobi runs into a little bit of space, trying to find the ball over the top, but it's not there for Oscar Bob. And so they play it back out to their center backs, and they move it all the way far out right. Caterpie, what a game. I don't know if you're watching at home, but sheesh. These boys, this is a good one. This is a good one. I think we're in for a treat. I do think that 2-goal lead, the most dangerous lead in all of sports, is coming to bite the Chelsea boys in the ass. And we got King in possession, pushes the ball back, and Palacios puts it across goal, and then it's headed out back to the back line of Fulham by Chelsea. Chelsea shifting out of possession to a back five. So a 5-4-1 with João Pedro up front. So going to be a bit of a dynamic formation for Chelsea all season. In possession, back three. Out of possession, back four-ish. 4-3-4, if you will. Back 5-4-1 rather. Looks like that's what they're playing right now. This could just also be a natural instinct of when a team's on the front foot and you're on your back foot, you're going to get numbers behind the ball. And then Fulham lose possession, but Fulham wins it right back, and King might have a shot here again. Let's see what he does. Tries to do it all himself. Not the best. Sorry, that was actually Oscar. Bob, what's up, Cam? Good to see you, my man. Hope you had some good streams this past weekend. Hope you're doing well. Hope the boys are doing well. All right. So Chelsea with the goal kick, and this would give them a chance to put them out long and settle the ball a little bit. Let's see if they can win a ball in the midfield. And they broadcast didn't show it, but the ball went all the way to the final third, and Chelsea are kind of threatening here. Fulham deal with it temporarily. Chelsea win possession back, and Reece James kind of back in his traditional right back position. I know he's playing midfield today for Chelsea, but it looks like they've slotted him back into the back three. And you can't blame Xabi Alonso for playing around with it a little bit. Obviously, Colwell has a yellow card. Lavia has a yellow card as well. And then it looks like João Pedro there takes a shot, but over the top of the over the top of the goal and out of play for a goal kick. So we there, and just as we mentioned it, Enzo Fernandez warming up on the sideline. Again, Chelsea not really winning possession the way that you would want to win possession in this type of game. They should really control the game, to say the least. And so we got Enzo warming up, and this could mean that Enzo's going to be sticking around. Who knows? And then we got a ball out long to Cole Palmer, and then he goes off across the face of goal, dealt with easily by Leno, and Fulham are out on the break. So great game, to say the least, guys. Things have really heated up here, ladies and gentlemen. Not to mention my fantasy not to keep bringing up my fantasy, but my thing is a gridlock right now. It could go either friggin' way. A great ball in by Iwobi to Gonzalo Garcia, and then King making a run here and then gets shoved off the ball. Great defensive work by the back line of Chelsea, and then Chelsea win a free kick. Gonzalo Garcia playing a little bit more, a little too aggressive there, but that's what you want. That's what you want out of your new star center forward signing, £34 million. They buy him to replace Raul Jimenez, the Mexico striker that ended up going to Wolves in the offseason. So good spell of a possession here for Fulham, and obviously switching around what seem to be things going a little wrong in the game. And it does look like Enzo Fernandez is going to be coming on for Xabi Alonso's crew. So we'll see what that looks like. Yep, here he comes. And he's going to come on in place of one of the boys, I believe, that had the yellow card. Yeah, Lavia, one of the 2 yellow cards for Chelsea. And then Enzo Fernandez comes on in relief. And if you're a Chelsea fan, do you want to sell Enzo? Like, is this what are you trying to get him off the pitch? You also, it looks like you have Chavaria coming on in place of Hato. So a couple new former Chelsea man and a new signing coming on. I got a scammer trying to call me and tell me that I have a MacBook Pro that I purchased. God, scams have gone out of hand these days, guys. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. So Chelsea winning the ball back in possession here. And it looks like they're going to try and control things a little bit. Enzo Fernandez getting right into the game. Was serenaded with booze. Let's see. He's probably getting serenaded with booze right now. The Argentine player obviously trolled a lot of English men and women during the World Cup after they beat England. And then Chelsea gained the ball into a dangerous area. Across going over, but offsides for Chelsea, and the ball will be going back to Fulham. And Fulham are also going to make a switch themselves. See who they are bringing on in place. So Oscar Bob comes off, and Shea Charles comes on in place. Acquired from Southampton earlier this month for $40 million. So a big signing for them. If you're a Fulham fan, you probably wanted him in the starting lineup. But this tends to happen. You can work people in. This is, Palestra is not even in the team today for Chelsea, and they spent a bunch on him. And a great ball forward by Anthony Robinson. He wins a header right on the edge of the pitch. Stops the ball from going out of play, and then Iwobi trying to make a nice little run here, and Gonzalo Garcia puts the ball out of play. So good little back and forth here. Let's see what the last third of the game has for us as we move into that final third. What's up, guys? Enzo Fernandez on the pitch. Great ball into João Pedro. João Pedro to Morgan Rogers. And Rogers puts the ball out to Gusto, and he's going far post. And it looks like there could be a chance on goal here. And it is not really. Chelsea kind of make a mess of it, of a really great ball. Gonzalo Garcia trying to have a nice little hold-up play here. And then Chelsea win the ball back in what seemed like another pretty tough call, if you ask me. Looked like that was out of play off of Chelsea, and that should have been a throw for Fulham, but we go on. So Palmer moving up the right side of the pitch, slowing the ball down, looking back, letting his men catch up. Plays the ball back to Achampong, and then back to Reece James, again playing in that back line position. Enzo Fernandez on the ball, looking to make some action here, or at least control possession a little bit for the boys in blue. You really, it's hard to say what I want to happen to Enzo Fernandez. Obviously, I'm an English man, so I'm not the biggest fan of the guy. But you want to see someone do well, and you don't want to see somebody just, sent to the shadow realm. So good to see him getting some minutes. But what a great little 1-2 play. Palacios running the ball down, and then LaCroix doing the veteran move, getting in between it and just falling on the ball, wins himself a free kick. I hate that call, but it's a veteran move. You got to give it to him. Credit where credit's due. That's what I'll say. What's up, Carnal Jesus? Welcome in. Welcome in, my man. So who we got? Welcome in, Mendez 7. Who you got winning the league? Talk to me. Welcome in, Ajax and Young Baller. Who you guys got winning the league? Are we watching one of the league winners right here in Chelsea? I don't think so, but I think they're going to give a good run for it. I do think Xabi Alonso makes it through the season. That could be the real question. Does Xabi Alonso, he's only on a 3-year deal, so does he make it to the end of the season with how chaotic the Blues can be in London? And we got potentially another Argentine player coming on that the English are definitely not the biggest fans of. So we'll see if we get some more boos rained upon them as Chelsea bring in another Argentinian player. What's up, Ajax? Are you an Ajax fan, Ajax? Or are you just name Ajax? Or are you Ajax? That's the real question. It's all right. Don't answer all at once now. It's all good. Chelsea controlling possession a little bit here. What's up, soccer fan? Nice to meet you. Welcome in. This game is on USA Network. João Pedro plays the ball out of play, back for a goal kick. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. We've had an incredible start to the Premier League season. Liverpool drawing at St. James Park yesterday. City winning in the final minutes of the game. Obviously, Arsenal dominating. Tottenham had a really rough game after, spending so much. Mamadou Sangare looking the part, every part of 40 million pounds. A midfielder coming from Lens. So we got a bunch of new signings doing well in the Prem. We got a couple of teams overachieving. You had Ipswich beating Sunderland, with their basically entirely re-envisioned front four. And Fulham have a little bit of space to work with here. Let's see what they can do with it. Really loving what I'm seeing out of Palacios and Garcia and King. So 3 of the front 4 for Fulham looking really strong. And then obviously Oscar Bob came off in relief, and he was probably the one that maybe wasn't exactly what you wanted, the new signing from Manchester City. Manchester City just seems to be rinse and repeat in terms of just sign somebody and sell them. It's like, if you don't work for 2 seconds, you're gone. Like, how can you, if you're a City fan, like, how do you get, I guess you just pick Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland signed a 10-year deal. You pick him. You're like, that's my guy. Everybody else, I don't care about. So Anthony Robinson trying to feed the ball in there, a little hot on the pass and not really dealt with well by King. Much better pass this time around. King's going to have a shot on goal, and it's just wide. Oh my goodness. Robert Sanchez was not there. King had him beat, and if that ball is on target, that is 3-3, and we have a draw. And man, actually Robert Sanchez might have had that covered off. He was cheating a little bit. No, that's in. That would be in if that was on target. King having the best game of the day for Fulham. So good to see King working so well. And then they're bringing on Kevin in place of Palacios. I like Kevin. They also bring in Sessegnon, the new signing in place of Berge. So a couple news. One new signing and then one young stud and Kevin coming on for Fulham. And so if you're a Fulham fan, you got to like what you're seeing here. You have a lot of the Chelsea players kind of arguing in the midfield about position. This is kind of what happens when you have dynamic positions in the way that Xabi wants them playing. So let's see. Robert Sanchez goes long. Anthony Robinson wins it right away. And then There, here you go. Kevin right with the ball on the left wing with a bit of space to work with. Let's see, he takes his man on. Anchapong with a great tackle and wins the ball back. And then Kevin pulls him back and then actually kicks the ball back. Let me tell you something. If you're that guy was Declan Rice, he gets a red or yellow card there. So looks like they're going to bring in Pedro Neto. Let's see if that probably is in place of João Pedro. I'm not sure. That would make me very happy if that's the case. So let's see who Pedro Neto comes in place of. Not being too selfish about my fantasy team, but that would make me very happy if João Pedro came off or Pedro Neto. So Fulham really, really, again, still controlling possession, 60% to 40%. They got a lot of shots on target. You know, you gotta imagine if you're a Fulham fan, you're pretty happy with the result, minus the kind of handful of goals that you gave up. But this is kind of what you face when you play a team like Chelsea with as strong a front attacking three as they have with Palmer and Rodgers and João Pedro. So Fulham win the ball back in the final third, and they're going to play it back out, try and play out the back here. Anthony Robinson not doing much with that, and then it forces Iwobi to go long. And you got King doing what King does, and that is going to be a card for Reece James for sure. That was a bump, and oh, he's getting in his face. I would not do that if I'm Reece James. I get you're the captain, but man, you got the card. What's the point of arguing with it? You're getting in the guy's face. You're just running the risk of making this worse than it needs to be. So let's see the move here. Kevin plays the ball. Plays the ball out to King. Was watching the wrong player, so I didn't get a good view on it. I'm not gonna lie. But Reece James picking up the card, third card of the day, and that is Pedro Neto coming on in place of Gusto. So not in place of João Pedro like I was hoping, but that's okay. Pedro Neto, great player, coming on in place of Gusto. He will be kind of in a right wing back position, and what a great ball by Fulham. And this could be dangerous, and it gets dealt with well by the Chelsea Blues, but that could be a rough. No, they're gonna call they're gonna give. Was that? I couldn't see exactly who it was, but that's gonna be a yellow card for the dive. Yeah, to Calvin Bassey, the captain for the Fulham squad. And yeah, that's a pretty bad dive. Not gonna lie. Love that they got a yellow there. This is the one thing that they got to get out of the game. It's really tough to watch as a viewer to see players dive and try and win free kicks. I get, they're playing at full speed, so there is a degree of you don't want to hurt yourself, but that was a dive can be by Calvin Bassey, and the ref gets it right, in my opinion, by awarding a yellow card there. I hope this year we get more and more of those. I get diving out of the game. It should be a red, honestly. That's the only way you're really going to get it out. If you make that a red card and Bassey gets sent off for that dive, I promise you he will never dive again. But I do understand that, diving is very subjective, and, there are players that are trying to avoid injury from previous injuries and things like that. So sometimes, if you talk about the World Cup game, there was a penalty that was awarded to Mbappe where he jumped after a really rough tackle. Oh my gosh, what a great ball into Anthony Robinson. And is he going to chip? Ooh, Anthony Robinson tries to chip Robert Sanchez. Robert Sanchez kind of caught in no man's land there. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but a great ball over the top to Anthony Robinson. The American runs onto that very well. And if he controls that and pushes that on goal, that is a goal 10 times out of 10. He kind of just sends it out wide right. But what a great ball, and what an awful goalkeeping job by Robert Sanchez again. If you're a Chelsea fan, you gotta, what's his rating at this point? It's gotta be 5. He's a 5.5 game rating. Obviously you can't hold everything to game score, but if you're watching the game, a 5.5 rating seems pretty fair given how bad Sanchez has been. So Fulham keep trying to find this ball over the top. The Chelsea back three deal with it this time, but they've been really under a lot of pressure with these long balls. So if you're a team that's going to be playing against Chelsea in the upcoming future, I think Fulham's kind of writing the book on what you want to do here. Try and control possession out of the back and make runs on your wings. Have your wings make runs into open space and over the top. And again, King wins the ball here. He's moving into the final third. Not much doing as Chelsea do get back. And they're going to filter this ball right back to their back line. But not out of the woods just yet for Chelsea. Anthony Robinson receiving the ball on the left side. And Fulham just getting a little bit of possession here, trying to control the game, trying to think and dunk their way through. You know, they've had a great couple balls over the top that could have easily led to goals. So they've got the right strategy. They just got to get one through, and then who knows what can happen from there. King with a nice ball, 1-2 to Anthony Robinson, but it's dealt with quite easily by the Chelsea Blue. And João Pedro moves the ball out to Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto back to João, and then Cole Palmer off and into a lot of space. Moves it out wide to what looked like Morgan Rogers. I couldn't really tell. He was turned around. Tries to put the ball over the top to João Pedro, and he is not able to get to it just a little too far, and it's out for a goal kick. So we got ourselves a ball game, ladies and gentlemen. We got ourselves a ball game. Chelsea not out of the woods just yet. They were up 3-1. They obviously started the game with an early goal within the first 40 seconds. I barely even had my stream set up, and João Pedro was already celebrating with the Chelsea faithful. And then Fulham tied up. Seemingly had a couple really great chances at going up 2-1, but do not convert. Sanchez actually makes a couple good saves. Then we start the second half. Before the second half, Chelsea, Morgan Rogers, the new £116 million signing, or £117 million signing, scores a goal right before the half. They go up 2-1, and then they open up the half with a quick goal to go up 3-1 with Palmer scoring in the 49th minute. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, Garcia has a nice little run in and scores the goal off of a basically a really bad play of defense by the Chelsea back line. And again, Anthony Robinson going to go over the top here. And it looks like, let's see what Chelsea can do with it this time. They deal with it well, but very easily could have fallen in the wrong spot for Fulham. Robert Sanchez really making a mess out of this game. And you got to imagine, if Chelsea do go on to only draw or even worse, lose this game, you got to imagine everybody's going to be calling for Sanchez's head. I can't imagine there's a single Chelsea fan that likes Robert Sanchez. He's not played very well for them whatsoever. So Fulham, again, looking to go over the top, play the ball back over to the left-hand wing. The King moved the ball into, what a great 1-2 by Anthony Robinson. He tries to make the cutback on Cole Palmer. Palmer wins the free kick, but King is just kind of picking up where he left off last season, looking really strong in possession, looking really strong on the ball, and just quick and crafty with Anthony Robinson. They played a lot last season together, and so you can see that. And as I say that, Anthony Robinson coming off and Muniz coming on for Fulham. So great game by Muniz. It looks like Esteval will be coming on for Chelsea. Can imagine, who would that be for? Let's see. Coenda coming on for Rogers. Is Esteval going to come on for Palmer? Yeah, Esteval comes on for Palmer. So João Pedro, the only one remaining out of that front three. And we got a tight game. Only 8 minutes left in this one. What's up, Kong? Who you got winning this game? You think Chelsea hold on to it? All right, so Fulham trying to control possession here, and they're going to play that off João Pedro out of play. So Palmer looking exhausted for a guy that had the whole summer off, I must say. Morgan Rogers getting a serenade of claps from the Chelsea Blue faithful, looking like he is going to be a great addition to this team. Obviously, really great friends with Cole Palmer. They grew up in the Man City Academy together. They both share the same celebration. So it could be a cold winter for the Chelsea Blues in all the best ways. So we'll see. But Fulham trying to play out the back here. Have they been all day? Let's see if they try and go over the top again. So it looks like Fulham trying to control possession here a bit. Working through the midfield. Oddly enough, Chelsea have really struggled to control the ball in the midfield. Like they've had great attack all game. Great little 1-2s. Obviously, finding João Pedro in space multiple times is what you want. But, you know, again, over the top right here. So we got a great ball in, and this is going to be dangerous. Robert Sanchez actually deals with this well and puts it out back for a corner for Fulham. And this looks like they're going to try and take this quick. That was almost a handball by Anchapong. You got to be a little worried there. Robert Sanchez deals with that well. Would love to see that ball from Sessegnon go across, but we got Kevin with an in-swinger here off the right foot. Let's see what he can do with it, guys. What's up, Cam? Welcome in, my man. A Fulham player goes down in the box. Nothing doing there. Tries to switch play to the right side. How you been, Cam? How are your streams this week? Every time I try and get in there, you're like in and out like a fast food restaurant, man. An hour and you're done. Like, it's quick, dude. Every time I see him, he just went live like 55 minutes ago. I go in, you're gone. Like, you got to give a man a chance to catch you. But hey, whatever works for you, man. I'd rather you be live than not live. That's what I'll say. Derek is watching with me right now. What's up, D-Rec? D-Rec in the game. The one and only D-Rec. Man, I miss Derek, I will say. He's probably listening. So, Derek, I miss you, my man. Hit me up. Let's hang out. I no longer play with the fun stuff, if you know what I'm saying. That sounds weird, but you know what I'm saying. But I'm still grab a brewski with you and have a little fun. He wants to stream on TikTok. He's going to be starting up pretty soon. Nice. What's he going to be streaming? Iwobi moving into a bit of space here. Moves the ball out to Bassi. Oh my gosh. King tries to feed it to the right wing. That's probably the only miscue King's had all game. He's going to be playing Ultimate Fighting Championship at a very high level. Like UFC? Like the UFC game? Like the UFC game we used to play in my room when we were in high school on that big TV? Like that's what you mean by Ultimate Fighting Championship? Or is there a different Ultimate Fighting Championship that I'm unaware of? He wants to fight you 1v1. Wow. You're trying to fight me 1v1, D-Reg? Listen, you're going to have to pay extra for that. You can't trust a Brazilian in a 1v1, man. They got the moves. This jiu-jitsu is in their blood. He'll be rear naked choking me from behind before I even know it. Anyways, Fulham 62% possession to Chelsea's 38%. Chelsea has 17 shots though, so kind of why they're up 3-2, but this could easily be 3-3. He said specifically only kickboxing. Again, Brazilians and kicking anything, you're gonna be very good at it. I don't know if my English, if you give me a drinking contest, I got you all day. You want to pound some silly juices together, I think I got you beat, or some darts or something like that, some real English sport. But when it comes to has he been kickboxing? Is that how he's training these days? I'm training for a marathon for some reason. I don't even know why. I don't know why I agreed to this. I agreed to doing this marathon because one of my friends bet one of our other friends. Well, I agreed to do a marathon because one of our friends told me he's going to do a marathon. And he's like, you should do it. But then I come to find out, like, a week later, he's actually doing it because he got bet 50 grand from someone that he couldn't do it. And I was like, so I'm just training to do a marathon for no reason? Oh, shit. I can't be doing that. Hold on a sec. Crowd her down. Oopsie poopsie, as they say. Oopsie poopsie. All right, let's see if Fulham can get it done. You guys think that Chelsea win this game? Enzo Fernandez wins the ball back in possession and goes on a little bit of run. fouled by the Fulham player Castellan, and he picks up the yellow card. So, really tight one here. Appreciate the love, Cam. Thank you for the donuts. Hope you and D have a great game or great day. Oh my God, it is getting tight, boys. It is getting tight. 3-2, last few minutes of the game. Let's see if Fulham can do it. I can imagine Chelsea's going to try and control possession a little bit here. This is what Xabi Alonso talked about all week, controlling the game, controlling possession, and they just haven't done it. And so King chasing down Robert Sanchez. They try and go over the top, and again, just Chelsea just not deciding to control possession at all. And is that a corner won by Chelsea? It does seem like that. Sessegnon unable to control possession there, and an easy corner given out to Chelsea. It looks like Esteval will be taking it. I could see them going short here to João Pedro. João Pedro looks to be coming up on this. Let's see what they do here. Yeah, if I'm Chelsea, you go short, put the ball in. João Pedro, he's going to try and defend this. Ball goes out off João Pedro, and Kevin is out into the races. So not what you want to do if you're trying to walk the ball to the corner flag and maintain possession. He loses it almost right away. Yeah, this is an absolute nail. Oh my God, what? How is that? How did I lose that? That's ridiculous. How did I lose this game, guys? This is ridiculous. Down to the wire. Absolute wire. Oh, what a block. Oh, and that's it. That's it. João Pedro. Oh, offside. Thank the Lords. That could have been game, set, and match for the Chelsea Blue. Let's see what happens here. Oh, yeah, that's way offsides. So João Pedro wins the header, and then, but offsides for Chelsea. That could have just done it. Man, I was so close to winning this game, guys. I really need, I need Fulham to score. I need it. I need it. If I want to win my fantasy match, I need it. Made a horrible decision not starting Morgan Rogers because I was afraid that he might not play. Oh shit, I didn't realize that. Palestra can go my reserves. Do that. Swap him over. There's the word I'm looking for. Free kick won by Enzo Fernandez. He is gonna milk the heck out of this one. And that could more or less do it for the Fulham boys. Such a great game. We got 2 minutes left. Dang, that's tough. That's tough. The stat correction is going to be the loss of me. What's up, Cody? Welcome in, my man. We are watching Chelsea Fulham. I know that's not your, I don't know. Do you like footy? Do you like soccer at all? I feel like a lot of Americans probably watched World Cup this past year and are interested in it. I'm sweating a fantasy game right now. 0.5 point difference. I really need Fulham to score. Oh my God, the shot almost on target there. Great block. Oh, that could have not, that's not going to be a pen. I will say that much. Let's see. I mean, I got basically stat corrected out of a win, guys. This is brutal. I had 108.5 points, and now I'm at 107, and he has 107.5. Not what you want to see. Not what you want to see. But it's all right. Let's see if Fulham can get it done. Looks like Enzo Fernandez is going to win the ball in the middle of the pitch here. Move it back, and Fulham win it back. Let's see if they get another chance over the top. They've been winning these balls over the top really well. Almost every aerial. What a great little turn there, but ball poked out by the center back for Achapong for Chelsea. Enzo Fernando goes over the top to Pedro Neto. Got a little bit of space here to work with for Pedro. This could do it for you. He's going to take it to the corner flag. I would too. Try and win a free kick. Doing well here. The Portuguese native gets the ball into the box. He's going to try himself, and he puts it off the side of side netting. And this will be Fulham's last chance. Let's see what we can do here. Ball bouncing around the midfield. Fulham just need to get the ball forward if they can. They're going to play it back to their keeper. And let's see if they get one more chance on this over-the-top ball. They do, actually. They're going to get it over the top. And it falls very nicely for the number 9. He's going to take the shot. It falls right in front of Robert Sanchez. And that will probably do it. And that does. And that is the first win of Xabi Alonso's career in the Chelsea Blue skipper role. 3-2. They start the game off with a hot João Pedro goal, a Morgan Rogers 41st minute goal, and then Palmer with what now is going to be the winner in the 49th minute. Fulham did not go down without a fight, though. 2 goals for themselves as well. King and Garcia. Garcia, the new signing out of Real Madrid for £34 million. And we had a great start to the Prem, guys. I mean, what an amazing first match week, to say the least. You had Arsenal winning 3-0 to Coventry. You had Hull City beating Man United against all odds 2-0. Everton winning 2-0 against Crystal Palace against the run of play. Ipswich 2-1. Nottingham Forest 1-0. Leeds 1-0 on Nottingham Forest. Brentford beating Tottenham 3-0. Brighton beating the crap out of Aston Villa 4-0. City winning it in the final dying minutes of the game against Bournemouth. Newcastle kind of going against what everybody thought, drawing 2-2 against Liverpool in Alexander Isak's first game back at St. James Park. And then we wrap up the week with Chelsea winning at Craven Cottage 3-2, but not without any stress at all, because it was a tough game for them, to say the least. Morgan Rogers looked great, though. João Pedro, as always, looked great. Cole Palmer seems to be finding his form again, and Chelsea are off into the races in the Xabi Alonso era. So we will be back live tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern for our episode of the Bi-Weekly Chronicles. If you've never been here before, let me tell you, it's basically a satirical take on traditional news. We'll go through all this. It's basically a newspaper, front and back page. Back page is sports, front page is news, anything but politics. So we'll cover a lot of these footy games, each game, ins and out of it, the exact specifics of what happened and what our thoughts are on each team. We're bringing on Football Philly. He's our English lad living in Berlin to go and decide it to review the games. And we will also cover a couple major stories like Enes Kanter at the WNBA game that's almost kind of bordering on the politics side of things. WNBA seems to be determined to not let us talk about their sport. But anyways, that is gonna do it for me. Xabi Alonso, great start to his Chelsea career, 3-2, and I officially have lost. I don't even know what's going on here. It says I'm winning this game, but I'm not winning. I'm 107.5. But anyways, I officially lost my fantasy game. I don't think anybody cares about that, but I do. So great having you guys here. Hope to see you at the next stream. We just posted our stream schedule for the week. Like I said, Tuesday we're live for the live episode. Wednesday we'll be live for the Cubs game. No stream Thursday. Cubs game Friday. Saturday, Tottenham, Newcastle. That should be a really, really great game. Sunday, we do Sunday night baseball with the Cubbies against the Reds, and then we'll wrap up the week on Monday next week with Arsenal versus Aston Villa. I hope to see you guys there. Let me know your thoughts on my videos in the comments. I really would appreciate that. Appreciate the love, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace. Oh, let me do my outro. Peace.
Shit. Came a long way from school, bitch. We them niggas been banging and walking with full clips. Pocket filled with them blue strips. All I hang with the solid, can't fuck with no loose lips. If he ran, cut him loose quick. If a